Do you think Terence Crawford is approaching you in the proper way?
I think he's wanted the fight and doing respectful, you know. I want Canelo. No. 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Canelo Alvarez stayed focused in the gym after footage surfaced of Floyd Mayweather training with Terence Crawford. When asked about it, Canelo kept it cool, simply saying, "Enjoy." His response made it clear he's unfazed, locked in, and ready for his battles.
Eso. Venga. 5, venga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Shakur Stevenson recently opened up about meeting Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, sharing his deep admiration for Floyd. He revealed that Mayweather appreciates being around real, genuine people, which has only brought them closer. Shakur emphasized their strong bond, saying, "We're tight now," highlighting their growing friendship and mutual respect in boxing.
Seeing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford all in the one place, and I know you put that together. You've played the game, and you put yourself in a position there to sort of create a moment. And there was a few viral moments from that in the clips outside. What's that sort of environment like for you? I get the feeling every time I speak to you, you're so locked in. Do you not feel anything when you're around everybody in the gym and you've got to do them spars?
It kind of just feels, you know. Back in the day, like, if you asked me this question, I probably would tell you, like, oh, it was so amazing. It was, but now I'm kind of so used to, like,
regular.
Yes, it feels so normal. Like, honestly, that's why me and, like, Floyd is so, like, close now, because it's like, I'm a genuine person, and he don't, like, he like genuine people around, so.
Canelo Alvarez, often seen as the face of boxing, recently responded to Terence Crawford's respectful approach in calling for a fight. He acknowledged Crawford's interest, appreciating that there was no trash talk or negativity involved. Canelo made it clear he's earned his place in the sport, saying, "You never know, maybe one day I wake up and want to fight that guy." His words show confidence, but also an open mind. While respecting Crawford's accomplishments, Canelo stays composed, valuing the integrity of boxing and leaving the door open for a potential showdown in the future.
He went on the ring with Teddy Atlas.
What does that mean?
He said you're the most overrated Mexican champion in history. He said that Salvador Sanchez and
boxeador mexicano.
Más popular,
pero sin causa. Sí.
Fucking crazy, that guy. and you think he knows boxing? Fuck.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point, because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Crawford. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, you know, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a big.
Canelo has made it clear dropping weight to fight Terence Crawford was never his plan. He pointed out that Crawford wanted the fight, not him. He also knew critics would call it unfair, saying Crawford was too small. Plus, their fighting styles didn't make the matchup exciting for him.
Listen, Canelo needs to understand he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out and then going into, 6 decisions in a row now? Scores a knockdown every time. Power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to carry on and push. That's the real difference, and that comes with age. He's 34 going on 45 at this, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a ton of fights, been around for a long time, doesn't have that same desire, the same drive to take the chances against these younger, bigger guys, because he is fighting younger, bigger guys. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
When he fought Canelo, and he was like standing right in front of Canelo, and Canelo's just whiffing, it was a life lesson. And then you look at how good Canelo's head movement got after that fight, when he realized it. I mean, my God, when he fought Danny Jacobs, and Canelo's just standing right in front of him, bobbing. That's all what he learned from fighting Floyd.
Promoter Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts on the size difference between Canelo and Crawford, expressing concern that the fight might not do much for Canelo's legacy. He pointed out that beating a naturally smaller fighter like Crawford wouldn't earn Canelo much credit. Hearn emphasized that the narrative could easily shift to Crawford being undersized for such a challenge.
I don't think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo. But what's his options? I mean, like, you know, if Bivol wins, he could fight him for undisputed. That's a very tough fight. What's the other options? You know, Benavidez is up at 175. Obviously, His Excellency wants to make that fight. So, guess we could see it next.
Fellow boxer Shakur Stevenson is backing Terence Crawford with serious confidence after meeting both him and Floyd Mayweather. Stevenson feels people are underrating Crawford, insisting that weight isn't the deciding factor in a fight skills off. He boldly stated, "I think he can beat Canelo. Weight doesn't matter at the end of the day. Skills pay the bills."
I'm like this nice because of Bud. Like, me, truthfully, like, I done got better through the years. Like, not even just being in the ring with him, but even being outside the ring. Watching his demeanor, watching what he doing in his sparring, watching his training camp, how hard he trained. Like, dog, I owe Bud a lot, so I never even talk about too much sparring.
Yeah, I got you.
Shakur, everybody just keeps saying, bro, he lighting the ass, the weight. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
what do you
but
say about that?
I think skills pay the bills. Yeah. And I feel like, truthfully, he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he, like, very small.
He cut weight to get to 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as, like, people think. It's just he look like it. Yeah. So, like, if you see him in
person,
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day, he might get on the scale weighing like 166, 167 fighting Canelo, and people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said I think Terence Crawford would beat Canelo.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
A long time ago. Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez has always stressed the importance of weight classes in boxing, believing that every fighter has an ideal weight where they perform at their best. In an interview, Canelo pointed out that weight classes exist for a reason, implying that Terence Crawford is most effective at 147 pounds. This highlights his view that moving up in weight can affect a fighter's performance. He also mentioned that Crawford calling him out wasn't a big deal since everyone wants to fight him. Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather also shared his thoughts, recalling his own bout with Canelo. Mayweather stated that when they fought, Canelo was in his prime, while he himself was already past his peak.
It's crazy that, you know, Canelo said that, because when Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man, so I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo. You know, I was an old man when I fought Canelo. Just like this right here, young guy. Even though I'm old, I got a lot of experience. I'm gonna go out there and just show him that this is the elite level, and it's something totally different.
Mayweather joked, "I was like 40 when I cooked this dude," suggesting Canelo isn't as unstoppable as some think. With his unbeaten record, Mayweather's words add weight to the debate. In response to Crawford calling him out, Canelo brushed it off, saying, "Everyone wants to fight." He's open to fights that make sense, but admitted, "If the money's right, I'm in." However, he's not eager to face Crawford, calling his style boring because he moves too much.
I think Crawford don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in. Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight, and he don't move that much now. So if the money is right, I mean, why not?
How you think he did at that weight, at 154? How you think Crawford did?
You know, they are a weight class for a reason, and you need to ask him. It's different. I know in his mind he think he can do whatever he wants because he's very talented fighter. He's a very good fighter. I like how he fight, but that's why there are weight classes. And he knows now.
Canelo has questioned Crawford's track record, suggesting he's only defeated one truly notable opponent. He implied that Crawford's resume lacks depth in high-caliber competition. This criticism reflects Canelo's doubt about whether Crawford is truly prepared to step into the ring with him.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with Spence. He did almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
In response to Canelo's comments, Crawford's trainer, Brian Bo-Mac McIntyre, stood by his fighter's record. He explained that Crawford's sheer dominance makes his opponent seem average, which only highlights his extraordinary talent. Bo-Mac emphasized, Crawford makes everybody look normal, that's just how good he is. His words reinforce the belief that Crawford's skill and adaptability set him apart from the rest.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody else. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Showbiz the Adult analyzes the fight, calling Terence Crawford an all-time great. He believes the weight difference won't be a major factor and expects Crawford to dominate with his skill.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
Mikey Garcia weighed in on a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, focusing on the challenges posed by weight and size. He noted that Canelo fights at 168 pounds, while Crawford has only recently moved up to 154 and is still adjusting. Garcia believes Canelo won't drop below 166 pounds, despite recognizing Crawford's exceptional skills. Ultimately, Garcia predicts Canelo's size and power would be the deciding factor in a matchup, pointing out how Crawford's technical skills contrast with Canelo's physical dominance. He emphasized that Canelo's strength and size would likely give him the upper hand in this fight.
That has to be made. How do you see that playing out?
I'm not a big fan of that fight matchmaking because they're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one the best fighters that I've seen. I told him yesterday when I met him up last night there at the dinner, I was like, dude, you're a badass. Like, you've been a badass. You don't always get the recognition because of, the politics in boxing and the favoritism here and there. But he truly does have the skills, and he's a great fighter. He's proven it multiple times, obviously. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor.
Jake Paul, the social media influencer and boxer, has shared his thoughts on the potential fight, finding it intriguing because of the weight class difference. He points out that fans have never seen Crawford fight at such a high weight before. Paul's comments highlight the growing public curiosity about how Crawford would fare against a tough opponent like Canelo in a new weight division.
Just give me your opinion on how that fight plays out.
Man, it's interesting because of the weight class. We haven't seen Terence go up there, and will he have the power? But I do think that Terence has the skill and is a bit fresher than Canelo. So if I had to put my money on it, I would probably go with Terence.
I think Canelo destroys him.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
I mean, but most people think that, but they don't know.
I don't think
Canelo's
that
not
happens. I think
big.
Terence is just super talented at adjusting inside that ring. The weight will play a part. We'll see that when the fight happens, but I think that fight is going to be a lot more interesting than most people think.
Who was the hardest puncher you ever faced?
The highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is reportedly set for September, according to ESPN's Mike Coppinger. Meanwhile, a major fight card is scheduled for Friday, May 2nd, possibly to avoid clashing with Canelo's usual Cinco de Mayo weekend. If this timeline holds, fans could see Canelo in action twice this year, while Crawford may headline the May event. The Friday fight date also brings back memories of classic Friday night fights, adding a nostalgic touch to today's boxing scene. A Canelo versus Crawford fight wouldn't just be a blockbuster, it would electrify the sport and captivate fans worldwide.
Obviously, you can't look forward past Saturday, but do you feel like a fight like Terence Crawford? I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but like I say, he's a weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then you never know what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
BAC, in a recent interview, showed confidence in the Canelo versus Crawford fight, brushing off concerns about weight differences. He stressed that real fighters rely on skill, not excuses. If you accept the fight, step in and handle business, he said. To him, boxing is pure about talent, not weight limits or complaints.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo. 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness. But I mean, he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah.
The buzz around a possible showdown between Canelo and Crawford has boxing fans on edge. With their contrasting styles and weight classes, this fight promises fireworks. Some fans are so confident in their picks that they're putting serious money on the line. Take boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult. For example, he's reportedly betting $30,000 on the outcome. That just goes to show how high the stakes are and how much excitement this potential clash is generating across the boxing world.
Check out the projected odds that came out. One of the odds projectors say Canelo is opening up as the favorite, -130. Crawford is +100. That's damn near 50-50. Another one says Canelo Alvarez is the favorite, -185. Crawford is the underdog, only +55. Let me tell you something. If those are the odds on my bookie come day one, I'm max betting Canelo Alvarez. I could give a damn. If y'all mean to tell me that y'all think it's 50-50, I'ma empty my account on Canelo Alvarez. I don't have to bet KO, none of that shit. If y'all think it's that close, I'ma empty my account. $30,000, I can give a shit. I'm about to come up. I was gonna bet on Crawford thinking he'd be the huge underdog. Y'all got it that narrow?
All right, that's a wrap for today's video. Make sure you stay tuned for more exciting content coming your way. I'll catch you all next time, so don't miss out.